Anub'Rekhan, the first boss in the Naxxramas solo adventure. The deck we're going to be using is based around using Alexstrasza to set our opponent to 15 health, and using any type of burn or stuff of that matter to kill him. You really want to mulligan for Loot Hoarder, Arcane Intellect, Mirror Image, even Frostbolt, Cone of Cold. Those are all good starting cards. Anub'Rekhan's hero power summons a 3/1. He tends to not use it much in the normal mode. Only when he has no other options, he will use his hero power. Mage is a really good class because you can actually just ping the hero power, and essentially just becomes a pretty fair fight with your hero power taking out his perfectly. It's a pretty fair fight. Here, as you can see, I played Mirror Image and then Sun Fury Protector right before I drew the Molten Giant. If I had had the Molten Giant, I probably wouldn't have played it, but there is really not much for me to do because I had a really bad hand, so I had to play the Sun Fury to contest his board a little bit more. Here I am deciding to ping and attack, only because I didn't have a turn 5 play anyways, and he Frostbolts it, so if I hadn't attacked, I would have just been really far behind anyways, so I was happy that I attacked. Here, I really didn't have much, so I decided to just Ice Barrier, and then ping his 3/3 Shade of Naxxramas. That way, when I Flame Striked 2 turns later, I would still be able to kill it. So he's just dealing as much damage as possible to me. Alright, here I decide to Frost Nova and ping his Shade of Naxxramas again, so that I can Flame Strike next turn and kill everything off. He does play a Nerubian Egg, which makes my Flame Strike a bit worse, but it's still good enough that I will play it. So here I decide to freeze and Doomsayer, opposed to Flame Strike. The only benefit that it gives me is it does get rid of his what would be 2/4 with Taunt, but it also prevents him from playing any minions next turn. So that is good. He has to spend his entire turn using Shadow Bolts, almost his entire turn using Shadow Bolts, and then he plays this, which will just die to the Flame Strike next turn, or this turn anyways. So here he plays a card that's actually really good for me, because now I can just clear everything without having to worry about it. So I'm just going to check what comes out of this first, and it is a Doomsayer, so I will not play my Molten Giant. But next turn, I should be able to. So I'm going to play my Molten Giant, and then Alexstrasza his face. Meaning he has to deal with both of these cards in order to survive the next turn because I do have the Pyroblast and the Fireball. Fortunately for me, though, he can't deal with either of the cards. So, I will BM him a little bit and win. And there you go. That is how you beat Anub'Rekhan.